got to remember, now forever you're straight up now. Tell me, do you really wanna love me forever? Or am I caught in a hit and run? Hurry, lover, come to me. Rush, I wanna see you get free.
Hey friend, welcome to my channel Karine Alourde, where we deep dive and break down the most iconic stars in history. If you're not yet subscribed, please be sure to do so and turn your notifications on so you never miss an upload. Now let's get into this video. Today we are talking about the icon Miss Paula Abdul. If you don't know who Paula Abdul is by now, have you been living under a rock? I grew up on American Idol and I never knew how extensive her career was until I got older and I started listening to her songs. Comment below your favorite Paula Abdul song. That's definitely mine. And I also love Rush Rush. She was just iconic, but she has a lot of controversy that many of you guys may not know about. And I was pretty shocked by some of the stuff that I just was living under a rock and didn't know. For one, there's this theory online, several YouTube videos that do comparisons between Paula Abdul and Janet Jackson. So when I was doing research for her, I was watching several documentaries. I saw a lot of those videos that would be like Paula Abdul versus Janet Jackson, and it would show both of them doing their most famous performances, and there'd be like this comparison, and then the comments would be in shambles. And there were articles also that stated that Paula Abdul was actually put up to replace Janet. She was like the lighter, more ambiguous version of Janet, and they loved Paula because they said she had an appeal not only to people that were Middle Eastern because she was Jewish, she also had appeal to the whites and the blacks and Latino world. She was like a mixture of everybody because she looked so ambiguous, and she herself prided herself in that, being that she was so marketable.
Paula's Middle Eastern and South American ancestry gave her an exotic look that helped generate a broad fan base.
Got a strong ethnic look. Nobody knows really where to place her.
Is she black? Is she white? Is she Arab? Is she Jew? And the answer is yes.
It's the United Nations. It all works. She's like the National Geographic poster girl. It's all okay. It's all
It's
good.
fun to date a woman like that because on any given night you can say, I want you to be Jewish tonight. You know, and tonight I want to make love to a French-Canadian woman who can dance.
As we get into her story, I will let you guys be the judge of that for yourself, but I don't know. I don't know how to feel. We'll discuss towards the end. But Paula Abdul is a fairly private person, though some light stuff before we get into the juicy stuff of the video. And she told Us Weekly that I've never been into the Hollywood scene. I'm most happy going to the beach for a nice dinner. She loves Chipotle and also loves popcorn in any flavor. She does try to eat healthy, telling Us Weekly that I eat 10 to 16 ounces of raw, steamed, or juiced vegetables every meal. And she also drinks about 16 cups of water a day, if not more, according to her. She also loves to travel and loves to hike. Now, let's get into her childhood. Abdul was born on June 19th, 1962 in San Fernando, California, to Jewish parents. Her father, Harry Abdul, is of Syrian Jewish heritage and was born in Aleppo, Syria, but was raised in Brazil and immigrated to the United States. Her mother, Lorraine, was a concert pianist. Abdul is observant in her Jewish faith and is proud of her heritage. She once stated, and I quote, "My father is a Syrian Jew whose family immigrated to Brazil. My mother is Canadian with Jewish roots. My dream is to go to Israel for a real holiday," end quote. Abdul, who was then 51 years old, celebrated her bat mitzvah in 2013 in Safed, Israel, at the International Center for Sfat Kabbalah, which is a museum and spiritual retreat dedicated to the study of Kabbalah, the Jewish mystical tradition. And it was reported in 2003 that Abdul was a transcendental practitioner. She has believed in UFOs and that there can be life beyond our universe. As an avid dancer, Abdul was inspired towards a show business career by Gene Kelly in the film Singing in the Rain, and Abdul started dancing classes early on and has dabbled in ballet, jazz, and tap. She was a cheerleader and a straight-A student at Van Nuys High School, so she was pretty active up there. She's got a scholarship to a dance camp near Palm Springs when she was 15 and made her film debut in 1978's Junior High School, which was a low-budget independent musical. She finished high school in 1980 at Van Nuys. Abdul attended California State University, Northridge, to major in broadcasting, and in her first year of college, she was one of 700 people chosen to join the Laker Girls, the cheerleading squad of the Los Angeles Lakers NBA basketball team. So inside of that time frame, she was also promoted to be their head choreographer. The Jacksons saw Abdul perform at the LA Lakers game and immediately knew they had to have her. They had a song called Torture. They asked her to be the choreographer. Abdul said that she was not quite sure how she got through that, telling the Jacksons how to dance. I mean, they're the Jacksons. Due to the video's overwhelming success, Abdul went on to become choreographer for numerous music videos, including notably what she's most popular for, Janet Jackson's What Have You Done For Me Lately? And she also was a choreographer for Janet for the song Nasty and Control. So as a result of those videos' popularity, the Jacksons hired Abdul to direct their whole Victory tour. So Abdul recorded a demo for her signing in 1987 using her savings, because she said so out of her own mouth in one of the documentaries that I was watching. Like, she was watching everybody doing the dances, like watching Janet, looking at Janet and everybody else, and she's like, I could do that. I could sing.
She had that desire. Whenever Paula choreographed other people's stuff, there's a tendency to watch and say, I could do all this.
So soon after, Jeff Ayoff, who had previously worked with Janet Jackson in marketing at A&M Records, signed her to Virgin Records America. So Abdul was a talented dancer and choreographer, but her singing voice was pretty weak, dubbed by many people. There was even this footage out of Whitney Houston in a documentary that leaked of Whitney Houston stating how Paula Abdul couldn't sing and that she was singing off key in her album. And many people during those times was like, come on,
I mean, but it's so gimmicky. I mean, people sang.
People wanted to sing.
Yeah.
They want to hear singing.
Yeah. Paula Abdul ain't shit now. One thing, Paula Abdul ain't shit. Mommy, that girl is singing off key on the record. Yeah, but people lie. Because she got an image that we all know ain't really true.
She did go on to work with several vocal coaches and record producers to improve her voice. And years later, when asked about his experience signing Abdul to a recording contract, Ayoff recalled, and I quote,
Paula calls me up and comes in and has a meeting with me and says, I can sing. And she was quite a babe, so it wasn't real hard to put two and two together. If she could sing, yeah, we could do something with it.
So to them, it was like, wow, you look the part. You're none harmless to the whole world who seems to just forever have a problem with people who don't look fair and light. Forever Your Girl, which is still an iconic song to me, was released in 1988. The album and the single on it was dope too. Paula Abdul's first studio album spent a record-breaking 10 weeks at the top of the Billboard 200 album charts, and its 4 singles, Straight Up, Forever Your Girl, Cold Hearted, and Opposites Attract. They broke the record for the most #1 singles from a debut album in the United States. The IRAA later certified the album as 7 times platinum. Shut Up and Dance Mixes, a remix album, peaked at number 7 on the Billboard 200, making it one of the most successful remix albums ever. Abdul picked up her first Grammy for Best Music Video for Opposites Attract at the 32nd Annual Grammy Awards. So her career was just a kickstart. But I'm not gonna lie, she did grow in popularity before she put her album out, because people did know her for her choreography. So she already technically had a leg up. Now, here's where more scandal comes, with a singer accusing her of stealing her vocals. As early as 1991, another singer named Yvette Marine sued Paula Abdul in the Virgin record label, claiming that Paula Abdul had stolen her voice for use on several songs from her album Forever Your Girl. According to an article from Entertainment Weekly, which was written in 1991 by Jeffrey Resner, they stated that the lawsuit by Marine, who was credited as a background vocalist on Forever, alleges that Virgin deliberately combined her pilot track or guide vocal with Abdul's lead track in the final mix and passed it off as one voice. Marine says she was also asked to enhance Abdul's I Need You and wore headphones that piped in Paula's vocals. And then this is a direct quote from her. She said, I was listening to her and matching her, said Marine. However, Virgin's Jeff Ayoff submitted a sound analysis of Opposites Attract conducted by University of California music professor Frederick Lieberman, who says it remains possible, though I believe highly improbable, that a small percentage of Yvette's pilot track was blended or bled into some sections of the lead vocal mix. But if so, it is imperceptible.
Backup singer claimed 3 songs on Abdul's multi-platinum album Forever Your Girl were more like duets. This morning, Paula held a press conference to address the question.
I sing the lead vocals on every single song of the Forever Your Girl album. I put a lot of work into that album, and I'm very proud
Here's
of it.
Marine's reaction to today's press conference.
I think that she's absolutely right. She did sing all of the lead vocals. No one ever said that she didn't. I'm just saying that I know that my guide vocal was definitely used as well.
For someone to come out of nowhere this week, 3 years after the album was recorded, to diminish my work and cast doubts on my integrity and my reputation, I could not sit still and remain silent.
The use of guide vocals by singers is not unusual. Besides blending two vocals together, common studio tricks include applying processors and harmonizers to enhance an audio track, but Virgin maintains the only technology used to sweeten Abdul was double tracking, recording the singer's voice twice to strengthen its timbre. Paula's really good singer, and that's why this thing pisses me off, says LA producer Don Was, who worked on Spellbound. So 2 years later, in 1993, a jury agreed with Abdul and the label, ruling against Marine on her claims of deserved credit and copyright compensation. And I just want to say that, well, if you do see Paula sing live, well, you never know if the artist is really singing live unless they say so. I don't know, guys. I'll let you guys comment for yourself. What do you guys think? So this scandal did not stop anything, really. 2 more #1 singles, Rush Rush and The Promise of a New Day, were released from Abdul's second studio album, Spellbound, in 1991, which Rush Rush is one of my favorite songs from her, with 7 million copies sold around the world. Spellbound kept the dance pop sounds established by Forever Your Girl and added elements of R&B. And in December 1991, Abdul was awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Oh my goodness. How? Her first album came out in 1988. And in 1991, like 4 to 5 years into her career, she got a star in the Walk of Fame. I don't know. You see why people are saying she could have been probably a plant? Abdul's career went on hold briefly after her early success as she received medical attention for both mental and physical health problems. Head Over Heels, 1995, her third studio album, featured pop and R&B influences and was moderately successful commercially, reaching number 18 on the Billboard 200 charts in the United States, so her peers considered it a flop. Head Over Heels' first single, My Love Is For Real, featured the R&B singer's collaboration with the Israeli Yemeni singer Ofra Haza. So Paula Abdul's greatest hits, the first of 2 compilation albums by Abdul, was released in 2000 by Virgin Records, and because it wasn't as successful, her label dropped her. It seems the pilot was scrapped before airing. She joined a panel of judges on the Fox reality competition series American Idol in 2002 and quickly earned a reputation as a fair and understanding authority figure. And in May 2005, ABC's Primetime Live reported allegations made by American Idol contestants Corey Clark from season 2 that he and Abdul had an affair during that season and that she had coached him on how to succeed in the competition. So some people question Clark's motives for coming forward while he was promoting a CD and looking for a book deal, but he insists that his career was being prejudiced because of his relationship with Abdul and that he wanted to clear his name by disclosing the information. So there was a headline about it on Drudge Report. The website claims that Abdul, who was 42 at the time, was involved in an inappropriate relationship with the contestant, who was only 22, after she discovered a series of late-night phone calls and answering machine messages between the two. Meanwhile, Clark's attorneys responded to the controversy, and this is what they stated. In order to save Miss Abdul further humiliation, we have advised her counsel to have a candid discussion with Miss Abdul before making any further statements regarding Mr. Clark's veracity. End quote. Abdul largely avoided discussing Clark's accusations. For Abdul, Simon Cowell spoke up, calling Corey Clark a creep and saying it was just somebody using her to get a lot of publicity for an appalling record. So Abdul was featured in a skit on Saturday Night Live during the height of the scandal, and a number of celebrities did come out to support her, like Oprah Winfrey, Kelly Ripa. They called to express their support for Abdul while Fox began their investigation, and Barbara Walters, host of ABC's The View, spoke directly to the camera during a recent episode to express her regret at being a part of an operation that would report Clark's flimsy tabloid claims as news. The investigation concluded that there was insufficient evidence that the communications between Mr. Clark and Ms. Abdul in any way aided his performance. So Fox announced in August 2005 that Abdul would be returning to the show. Comment below, what do you guys think about this? So now let's talk about her brief show. The Virgin record label issued another greatest hit collections titled Greatest Hits Straight Up in 2007, and they made all of Abdul's albums with them available for digital download on iTunes. So in the same year, Bravo began airing Hey Paula, a reality show that centered on Abdul and documented her day-to-day activities. And due to audience and critical backlash over Abdul's erratic on-screen antics, Hey Paula was canceled after just one season. Comment below if you remember watching Hey Paula. I remember watching Hey Paula. So what they allude to about erratic behavior on American Idol, rumors of Abdul's substance use began to circulate. After reading those claims on message boards in April 2005, Abdul told people she had been in constant pain since a cheerleading accident when she was 17 and had been diagnosed with RSD in November 2004. After taking anti-inflammatory medication, she said she was pain-free, but her story is going to change, and we're going to see that towards the end of the video. This is a quote for her. "These accusations of me being drunk and drugged up on camera have made me seriously mad and saddened. So I've gathered my team together so we can set the record straight and let's deal with this properly." At the meeting, she cries hysterically saying, "What do I do to stop this? My reputation, which is all I have, is getting ruined. I do not do recreational drugs, and I am not drunk on television, and I'm sick and tired of people trying to make it seem as if I am," end quote. In January 2007, allegations resurfaced. Abdul's memorable live TV interview included her answering questions which nobody seemed to be asking her, and she was bouncing around in her seat. Comment below if you guys saw that interview.
How about a lot of you coming in? It's a wild party where you are. That's what we hear. Hey, you know what? It is what it is, and it was really.
You always wiggle around that much? You're just wiggling around there in New York City.
I'm a dancer. I'm doing little dance moves.
Oh, all right.
She did seem pretty drunk on screen. It sparked fresh rumors about her, and the video went viral all over YouTube. And Abdul's publicist blamed fatigue and recording issues. And Hey Paula, which followed Abdul with a camera before the interviews, revealed that she hasn't been sleeping, suffering from insomnia. And Abdul told Us Weekly in February 2007 that the allegations were lies. She joked on the Letterman show in March 2007 that her weird behavior was due to her being abducted by aliens.
I've never been drunk. I don't do drugs. This behavior is because many years ago it happened. I was abducted by aliens, and my body's just a vessel.
So according to Abdul's manager, who spoke with the LA Times in July 2009, very sadly, it does not appear that she is going to be back on Idol. This happened because Abdul and the show couldn't reach an agreement, and after months of contract talks, Paula Abdul announced in August that she would not be returning to the 9th season. The Times reported that Abdul had been making up to $5 million per season and was reportedly asking for up to $20 million for her to return. So they did try to get Ellen DeGeneres, and Abdul stated that she was leaving Idol not for financial reasons, but rather to stand up for what she believed in. She wanted more money. A couple people were upset, like, really? She did make the show. It did kind of tank once she left. So Abdul finally gave a full headlining performance after 26 years at the 2016 Mixtape Festival in Hershey, Pennsylvania. On August 6, Abdul's first tour in 25 years was announced in November 2016 when New Kids on the Block said she would be joining them and Boyz II Men on their Total Package tour in 2017. There were 47 performances over the course of the tour, which kicked off on May 12th in Columbus, Ohio, and wrapped up on July 16th in Hollywood, Florida. Abdul announced in July 2018 that she would be touring North America as a headliner that fall under the name Straight Up Paula to commemorate the album's 30th anniversary. So at the 2019 Billboard Music Awards, the show's final performance was a medley of Abdul's greatest hits for her first show in Sin City. So now, as far as her dating life, she did briefly date Arsenio Hall. Paula Abdul and Arsenio Hall started dating after meeting on the set of the movie Coming to America. It was rumored in 2009 that the two were giving their relationship another shot, but it turned out just to be gossip. And in 1992, Abdul got married to Emilio Estevez, and the couple later divorced 2 years later. Abdul claimed that Estevez's 2 children from a previous marriage were the reason for their split in 1995. In 1996, at the New England Carousel Museum in Bristol, Connecticut, Abdul married fashion designer Brad Beckerman after only 17 months of marriage. In 1998, they decided to separate due to irreconcilable differences. This is a trigger warning if you're, dealing with ED. Skip ahead. So Abdul sought treatment for a ED, bulimia nervosa, in 1994, admitting later that she had struggled with the disorder since she was a teenager, though it had worsened since she became a famous singer. And she had this to say: battling bulimia has been like war on my body. Me and my body have been on two separate sides. We've never until recently been on the same side. I learned at a very early age I didn't fit in physically. I learned through years of rejections from auditions. I would ask myself, why can't I be tall and skinny like the other dancers? I felt nervous and out of control, and all I could think about was food. Food numbed the fear and anxiety. I'd eat and then run to the bathroom. I thought, God, I'm not perfect. I'm going to disappoint people. That's what I thought. It became a living hell for me. I wanted to get help. I wanted to be free from weighing myself on the scales. Whether I was sticking my head in the toilet or exercising for hours a day, I was spitting out the food and the feelings, end quote. I'm glad she overcame that. She is in a healthy weight. She promotes healthy eating now. But I can see with all the pressure, especially being a celebrity. Now, here's a couple scandals that kind of have fans questioning her honesty. Let's first talk about her hit and run case. So on a freeway near Los Angeles in December 2004, Abdul was driving a Mercedes-Benz when she changed lanes and hit another car, but she continued on her way without stopping to help the other car. Well, the drivers, they didn't know it was Paula Abdul or anything like that, so they whipped out their phones and they took a picture of the license plate, gave it to the police, and when they ran the plate over, they saw that it was Paula Abdul. So Paula Abdul pleaded no contest to the misdemeanor charge of hit and run in March 2005, resulting in a $900 fine and 24 months of informal probation. So she didn't serve no jail time. She was fined $775 for the other driver's vehicle damages. So according to LAPD, on April 2nd, 2006, at around 1 a.m., Abdul also reported to a Hollywood police station that she had been battered at a private party. Vernon said that Abdul told me that the man at the party got into an argument with her, grabbed her by the arm, and threw her against the wall. She claimed to have suffered a concussion and spinal injuries, so we never got to really know who that mystery man was that harmed her. Comment below what you guys think about that. Now, the next case that I found pretty strange was that a fan took their life. And Paula Goodspeed, who is also an American Idol contestant that was rejected, she was a 30-year-old woman. She was discovered and found dead in November 11, 2008 on the driveway of Paula Abdul's Sherman Oaks home in California. She was found with a lot of pills as well as pictures and music by Abdul, and her death was ruled, her taking out her own life by substance overdose. But Goodspeed was such an avid supporter of Abdul that she even changed her name to Paula, which and then she also drew numerous portraits of her, sent her flowers, and even tried out for the American Idol Season 5, Austin, Texas. Goodspeed's family members did deny the rumors that she was a celebrity stalker that had been published about her, but, And in an article published on their website in May 2009, Ladies Home Journal reported that Abdul had revealed to them that she had spent 3 days at the La Costa Resort and Spa in Carlsbad, California, the year before in an effort to overcome physical dependence on prescription pain medications. Her injuries and RSD diagnosis led to the prescription of a variety of substances, including a pain patch, nerve medication, and muscle relaxant. And during her time of recovery, Abdul reportedly experienced physical withdrawal symptoms and said the medication caused her to get weird at times. So in an interview later that week with Detroit radio station WKQI, Abdul strongly denied the claims made in the article. She denied to the radio station that she had ever gone to a rehab center or struggled with substance use. But then here's where things get even stranger. It was like, Abdul claimed she needed 15 cervical surgeries after a 1993 plane crash. So here's what she said. During the End of My World tour, the Spellbound tour, when I was traveling from one city to the next in a small 7-seater plane, one of the engines blew up and the right wing caught on fire and we crash landed. I didn't have any seatbelt on and I hit my head on the top of the plane, and that went on to I withstood 15 cervical spinal surgeries and I had to take 7 years off. And then I reappeared on American Idol, end quote. When sources including Jezebel questioned this in 2020, Abdul responded in a Vegas residency monologue saying, "There are 7 other people that were on the plane who were in that plane accident with me, so I really don't care what people have to say. I don't, end quote. The claim has been called patently spurious, which is just a lie, because the FAA and other international governing bodies kept very meticulous records of aircraft incidents, and there is no record of what she said. And she was a big star during that time. If you're a big star and you got into a plane crash, I'm sure someone would have, for you to get 15 cervical surgeries, I don't know. So that's pretty strange. And who are these 7 people that were on the plane with you that witnessed it? How did they fare? What happened to them? How have none of them come out to defend you and say that you are telling the truth? This is the story most people thought that Abdul has told repeatedly to explain her absence from the spotlight in the late 90s and the chronic pain that ultimately led to a number of surgical procedures. Though her version of events regarding whether or not this led to an addiction to painkillers have changed over time, So we don't know. Maybe this did happen and it was a small aircraft that she, not owned, but rented or whatever. And I don't know, maybe they just put it in a hush hush and elaborate details that didn't exist to kind of explain why she needs it. But she has been moving her body so much for so long in weird ways, doing stunts and stuff. I recall even on her first tour that she was going to do, she got injured on her leg and was in excruciating pain, and everyone kept telling her to cancel the tour, and she didn't. She still went out there and performed that night on her injury. And yeah, I was like, she was a hard worker and she used her body a lot. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Comment below your thoughts. But as far as her, what do you guys think about them saying that she came out to replace Janet? I do believe that they did have a lot of industry plants in the industry back then. That's my opinion. I do think that, yeah, because she was a great dancer and she was gorgeous. But to me personally, I wouldn't put her out there with like the greatest of singers ever. Though I love Miss Paula, So I do think it was kind of like so much success with Janet. Oh my goodness, we need an equal. And then boom, they put her out there. That's my opinion. But comment below, what are your thoughts? If you like the music you're listening to, the link is in the description. Comment below also, who else would you guys like me to do next? I love you. Until next time.